Can't find it.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire Revolver. What's going on, guys? Yo, Beasley's not here, so we had no intro, so we had to come up with something else. Beasley is off hunting squirrels for the weekend. He's at the World Series of Squirrel Hunting, hosted annually down in South Carolina. We hear he's doing quite well. He had a couple of problems with BB gun jams, but apparently a new CO2 cartridge has really kind of aired out the situation quite a bit, and he's doing quite well. He's a top scorer, top killer, and eating quite well, apparently.
Top feaster.
Top feaster.
Providing, not hiding, you know?
I refuse to discuss squirrel hunting.
Gary, it is just ripe for talking about, though. Yo, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Wilson, good to see you. Gary, good to see you. Wilson, what have you been up to this week?
I've been, let's see. I have been played a little bit of Sea of Thieves with you guys on Wednesday, which was awesome. Which was pretty much just PvP and getting drunk. I've been playing a lot of Iron Banner. Holy crap, right? Who'd have thought? And I've been having a blast, and I've been doing it on console. So I've been having a blast with that. We have played so many games this weekend, had so much fun. I kicked up the stream again for the first time in like months.
Yo, that was awesome, actually. I was happy to see that. It was good to finally use that subscribe button again.
For 6 months.
Yeah, it was good to click that button.
Jesus, right? Yeah, so I'm tiptoeing back into it a little bit, and then with other free time, I've been watching like really trippy space movies. Been really cool, like Interstellar. You know, I've been revisiting like 2001: Space Odyssey. Just really cool stuff. Europa was kind of trippy.
Europa's cool.
I thought of you, man. Do you hear that NASA dropped some Destiny footage when they were talking about Mars today? True story.
Gods of Mars?
No, they were talking about Mars and Phobos, and they started showing some like warlock zipping around on a sparrow. It was amazing.
Was it an exotic sparrow, though? Or is it a casual warlock?
It was NASA. He had the nameplate Wilson 309. They're watching you.
Oh, shit.
True.
Have you seen, there's a new series that just came out on Netflix. It's called, I think, Altered Carbon.
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't watched it yet, but everyone's got super hype about it.
Yeah, I started watching it last night, and I basically watched all 10 episodes.
Fuck.
Yeah,
what's it called?
I watched it all.
What's it called?
Altered Carbon. It's like imagine film noir in the future. This guy wakes up to a future where you basically can have a new body. If you die, your soul or your mind can be put into a new body, and like the rich people can do this all the time, but obviously it costs a lot of money to do it. So poor people are at a serious disadvantage. It's a cool series. It's fun to watch. It gets really kind of mind trippy toward the end too.
I will.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I need to catch up on all the Netflix shit. Everyone tells me watch this, and then I miss it, and then someone says watch the next thing, and I haven't even watched the first thing. So, you know. Plus, I spent most of the week editing that 4-minute video, so it's been. For reference, I had to do a bit of video editing for my job, recreationally. It was good fun. So did some
I can stop anytime.
Did some filming on my phone for some footage, and then I booted up for the first time. I bought Sony Vegas Pro in the Humble Bundle, which I think we were steered that way by our good friend Wilson, who said this is quality software. Definitely don't miss out on this. Anyway, long story short, muddling through this, about 4 restarts later, I had my 4-minute video. Took about 3.5 hours, all told. Somehow I made a 4-minute 1080p video, 29 gigabytes in size.
Gigabytes
I have no idea.
Well, usually the video size I upload to YouTube, Gary, it's usually about a 10-minute video, and it's usually about 1.5 to 2 gigabytes in length, or in size.
I mean, this is probably not very lengthy, but it must have some serious girth that I've got 29 gigabytes
It's
of
a fucking
size.
stacked deli sandwich.
It's
You
probably
got
just
too
the
much
bit rate
meat on there, man.
Oh,
Probably
it's-
just got to find the
quality
bit
is-
rate and just turn down the bit rate a little bit.
No, it's exceptional. I want to see every pixel of the work that I've done. It's fine.
Yeah, and how many frames
Fine.
a second did you say that video was in, Gary?
24 cinematic.
Ouch. Ugh.
Well, it gave me the option of 30, which was NTSC, or 24, which was cinematic, and I thought, I'm making a piece of art here. This is a 4-minute project. It said, new project, and I thought, yes, this is a project.
So when it's 24 frames per second and you do it, it's art. But when it's 30 frames per second and professional game developers do it, it's, how do you guys call it? Oh, yeah, shite.
That sums it up, I think.
If I was controlling the video, it would be unplayable. But I'm watching it, so it was fantastic and glorious. One of the best things that's been filmed in 2018. But it did take me most of my day. So you be the judge of that.
I spent my day.
Best thing produced in 2018 to 2019, because it'll take you a whole year to get it done.
Right, to upload it
Most
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to cut out highlights from this podcast, send them to me to edit. You only have to wait 4 weeks for them to go up, so it's pretty good.
I spent my day doing something much more fun than that, Gary. We had a spare room in the house, and there's no use for it. Like it was a bunch of junk in there, basically. So a couple of months ago, actually, I decided I'm going to clean this out and make it like a game room for my kids, because they game in basically the dining room on like the dining room table. And that was great when they were like, 10, 11, 12 and needed to be like watched over when they were on the internet. But now that they're 16, nobody wants to see the shit they're looking at. They want a little privacy. So today, actually, my mother came over and helped me. We were kind of like building like a game room. We put like a table in the middle of the room so they could go head to head, and got them some new office chairs, put a futon in there and a TV and an Apple TV so they can play some video games, watch some movies and stuff, and just chill, like have like a nice chill room, like a little man cave for my kids. I was so proud. It was cool, so fun to like make a man cave for the kids. You
know what my dad did for my for like my 18th birthday? He went and found me a place to live.
Well, I mean, they got a couple years.
It's like, I built you a game room. Next county over.
Yeah, next door.
Yeah, next county over. No, that's really cool.
I mean,
it's
if
fun
I was
building
making
a game room.
If I was building a kind of a hangout games room for a 16-year-old boy, I think I'd just put a futon and a big box of Kleenex in there, and that'd be it. I'd just walk away. Job done. Job done. Knock yourself out. You got the internet. And a lock on the door. Sorry.
A lock on the door.
Dude,
much quicker.
Man, the kids don't even know the struggle of dial-up, man. Jesus, you had to make an afternoon out of it. You had to be like,
you had to
noon to 4.
Yeah. That was in the day before multiple tabs. So if you wanted to have multiple browsers open, it was multiple browsers, and you're dealing with megabytes of RAM in your computer, not gigabytes.
The days before incognito mode, when it required the full history clear.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Checklist, man. Right. God bless incognito. I think that's pretty much the only usage for that.
Yeah. I like how if you start deleting stuff from your history, it'll tell you, hey, there's this thing called incog. We see that you've been deleting your history a lot lately. There's this thing called incognito mode.
They should have that warning if you ever visit that site. Like, would you rather go incognito?
Don't you think you should be in incognito mode right now?
Yeah, the computer's like,
We also noticed that there are browser cookies in here for Crate and Barrel. So obviously your wife uses this computer too. So you should definitely, Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh no, you don't want to be doing this on this computer.
Oh, that's great. Risky clicks. You know what? Actually, talking about console, Wilson, going back to your point about playing Banner, I have been a fully ascended console peasant this week. Fucking loving it.
I can't believe this.
I've gone lower than PlayStation. I've gone
lower.
Xbox.
So you had the Xbox One X though.
I did. I'm loving it. You know what?
It's not lower than console. That's the creme de la creme. Yeah. You're cruising around in a drop top Cadillac console right now.
It's just fun. Like I
would think of it more like a Civic with like 22-inch wheels on it, like a big big coffee can exhaust.
They're 18s, but he keeps them clean.
I do feel like I do feel like the One X is kind of like, you know, who's that guy? Exhibit just rocked up on your Xbox and was like, I hear you like teraflops in your ride dog, so I'll put teraflops on your teraflops. And it's really
fisheye lens on it and everything. Like it's
I can't tell you how nice it is though to play. I mean, I'd recommend anyone that's on the fence about buying them, if you're a console gamer, it is without a doubt the best console experience. Might not have all the games, I'm not going to get into a long discussion about it, but user experience, every game I've played looks amazing and plays better than any other console. So
I was watching, one of the reasons I've been kind of keeping my eye on the Xbox One X was for Monster Hunter, and I watched Digital Foundry do kind of like a comparison video between the Xbox One X version and the PS4 Pro version, and it was bizarre the differences between the two. Like, the Xbox One X runs at a higher resolution, but has less graphical detail.
Yeah.
It runs at a higher frame rate, but like there's weird. It was like there was a caveat to like every sentence. I'm sure that's just because it's brand new console, and Capcom probably didn't have enough time or as much time to develop for it specifically. But boy, it was a up and down on the Xbox One X with that game.
So it wasn't quite an upgrade. It was more of a give and take sort of thing.
I think
it was mostly an upgrade.
Yeah, if you run frame rate, you'll be around 10 frames better than a PS4 Pro across the board. And then certain things, like I've noticed, you feel it when it hits 60. So, you know, if you go to certain regions of the map where it's less vegetated or the creature flies off to its nest and you're just in this tiny area, it's like a hard 60 lock, which you don't get on the Pro. So, yeah, I've actually kind of ditched Monster Hunter 30 hours in on the PS4 and have now fully switched over to Mon Hunting on my Xbox.
Nice.
But yeah,
I don't blame you. That frame rate, I mean, I love that game, but that frame rate, man, it does drive me nuts. And I'm splitting my time on PS4. I got a PS4 Pro in the office, but I also have a standard PS4 down in my living room. And that standard PS4, man, it chugs a little in that game. You know, it's not unplayable by any means, but it definitely chugs.
I have a feeling my PlayStation's about to go out. Like, I boot up Destiny and everything's normal, and I log into the tower and I'm going through my vault, and all of a sudden I hear it go, and the fan starts kicking up more and more, and it gets louder and louder, and I can feel the vibration from my PlayStation on my desk.
I tell you what, man,
really
bad. The PS4 Pro, you can hear that from like 3 miles away when that thing turns on at all times. It's so loud. And
I had forgotten about that because I've been playing PC games so much lately, and I've done a lot. Like, since building my new computer, I've done a lot to try and make it quieter and quieter and quieter as I've gone. And then for the first time in a while, I turned on my PS4 Pro to play Monster Hunter. I was like, God, that's fucking loud. It's not Xbox 360 loud, but it's loud.
That's the other thing about the Xbox is the One X runs cooler. And I mean, I've got it in a tiny little compartment underneath the bed, like a futon kind of storage thing. Mm-hmm. And it runs cool in there, which is all fabric and enclosed. And it runs quiet. Sometimes you can't even hear that it's on.
Nice.
Compared
he's
to the
so ashamed of it, he's got it under the bed.
It is. It's in a
right next to his porno mags and his Vaseline.
Yeah, his stash of lube and like nudie mags and like edible panties and stuff. Like, look at him. You know,
it is.
How did you know about the edible panties?
I think your setup is pretty cool, though, Gary. You got that. You got that new setup with the TV that raises out of the foot of the bed, and now you can play. You got the Xbox. You got a Steam Link right in there.
No, I actually got rid of that. I did have a Steam Link, but the streaming on that, it gets shitty when you move. There's like a lot of pixelation and artifacting when the character's in motion. And I've got good internet, so I bought an Nvidia Shield TV. Not the tablet, the actual TV. That does 4K 60 frames per second streaming. So now I can use my 1080 Ti to get HDR 4K 60 streaming with no packet loss. It's amazing. It's beautiful. So I can PC game in bed, and the TV's 4K HDR. So everything's all set up. And I've got the Switch up there as well with a little dock for it. I pretty much just don't leave. I'm trying to ascend to the master race of just not leaving bed. I just need someone to rotate me every half an hour to check for bed sores.
Bring the bed.
You get a nurse in here.
That's it.
Nurse will flip you over, check for bed sores, empty out your bedpan, maybe a quick jerk if it's a Thursday.
I don't know if that's included on the healthcare.
You might have to pay extra for that.
Probably,
that might be a side benefit.
Right.
It's a higher tier package.
That's not on Blue Cross Blue Shield, really? blue balls?
I tell you what, we've got the
Covered
national
by
health
medication.
service in the UK, and no matter how many times I've asked, it's not included.
You guys
I've been
gotta
thrown
get
out of a
that
lot
fast.
of ER rooms, but anyway, should we start getting on these topics? Because this is Revolver half cocked this week.
Right?
We-
We've wasted
we
22
just-
minutes of a 1 hour show.
We've got a 1 hour show because
Just kept going with the intro, the whole
these
show.
two guys are going to watch some pagan football sport that I believe uses.
Are
the
you
term
familiar with
football.
football, Gary? Like, have you ever heard of football? I know you guys are big on soccer over there, but football is a really cool sport where you got this like oblong ball. It almost looks like a rugby ball, but it's prettier. And you throw the ball to other people. You can kick it. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with it. It's a really amazing game. Football is. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Well, I've seen it on the television, but it's kind of like rugby for pussies. It's guys that have to wear body armor to go in there.
It is kind of rugby for pussies.
That's what I saw. So
Whatever. You guys don't have shit. You can't talk any shit after that sport that you guys call cricket. How the fuck do you even play that? I
we
tried.
don't.
Okay.
We lose every game we ever play. Like we taught every colony that we took to play cricket, and every one of them is better than us. So we just gave up. Literally, there's no place that we conquered across the globe that isn't better than us at cricket. It's a global universal.
You just make
everywhere.
it such a fucked up sport built. Nobody understands the rules but you guys. That's the only reason why
No.
you can win. Like that's like winning in checkers but never moving your back
We
row.
rocked up to islands in the Southeast Asian Ocean, showed them cricket, and within half an hour they were better than us.
So you could beat as long as you could beat the Asians, you're number one. Basically, is what you're saying.
We can't. I don't think we've won like cricket in years.
Until it becomes
Anyway.
an esport, until they put it in a video game, then you guys are fucked.
Then
Digital
South
cricket,
Korea
man.
is gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
Every one of them. So this half-cocked episode, guys, you don't have us for 2 hours. You've only got us for another 36 minutes, and we've
Yeah.
got 5 topics to get through. This is quick fire.
Are we
I'm gonna
done with the
fire this
intro? Are
one.
we sure we're done with
straight
the
at you.
intro? Because
We can do another 36 minutes if you want, and just do no topics whatsoever.
I kind of had more things to say about the noisy Xbox. No,
right? I just wanted to imagine Gary's betting situation again.
the Babe layer of that place. It's turning into like the Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Is what it's turning into. Pretty soon, he's his wife's just gonna have her own little section of the Babe layer.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I should actually do the podcast from the bed, actually. Maybe next week. That's where
I
I'll
think
go
that'd be
in.
hilarious.
It's got
Like a
Skype on the
robe.
TV. I could just put a webcam in it because you can plug USB cams in. I'm actually thinking about doing that.
That'd be funny.
Get a robe and a glass of
Right.
wine and like a Sherlock pipe. Like,
Just like a real life callus. Just there with my goblet.
don't even drink it, just spin it and smell it.
What's our first topic?
What if Microsoft bought EA?
Oh my god. Oh my
How
god.
fucking crazy would that be?
That would be okay. So this all comes from Polygon this week. Released an article where they kind of said there's talks, like nothing firm, but there's talks about it, and it kind of got everybody thinking about it. Apparently, EA is valued at like $32 billion, and Microsoft's got like $150 billion of cash reserves that they could easily do it with if they wanted to. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. Whether EA would want to do that, and whether EA shareholders would want to do that, that's another thing, and whether Microsoft would want to do it. But it got a lot of people thinking about it, which I think was fun enough to talk about, right? Is whether or not it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. Probably it's not going to happen, but it's fun to talk about, like, because Microsoft's got this problem. They have this amazing console, but they don't have a lot of specifically first-party or exclusive games to sell it. So if you compare it to the Switch or the PS4, the Switch and the PS4 both have exclusive games that you can only play on the PS4 or the Switch. And for a while, the PS4 was also more powerful. So if you were going to buy third-party games, it was obviously the console to buy.
Yeah.
But now the Xbox One X is the most powerful console available. But they still have the problem of no exclusives. If they bought EA, they could possibly make some of EA games exclusives, also get them into the Game Pass program. But then they would also own this huge publishing house. And I don't know, it's a really interesting thing to theorize about.
That was kind of the first thing that came to my mind was they could pretty much make any EA game that started production after they purchased, after Microsoft purchased EA an exclusive if they wanted to. And they've already begun development for things with like Anthem for Anthem. Wait a minute, Anthem is that's multi-platform, right? That's not an exclusive, right?
No, that's multi-platform. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even if they don't lock it down, like I think where we've got to think about that is if they make them a first party, the same way that they've got Minecraft, they're making the dollar on every copy that sells. So that if PlayStation sell it, they're making a copy. And these big sports games, you know, like Madden, NBA, whatever the other fuck they do, wrestling, all this stuff that comes out annualized all the time, the Battlefield, Battlefront that comes out every other year, all that shit, if you made it multi-platform but made it day and date on Game Pass, you know, that's
it's
huge.
going to sell Xboxes like crazy.
Yeah, so you can pay $60 and get it on PS4, or as part of your $10 subscription, you can get it on your Xbox. So that would be huge. I mean, I think this is important, and I think it would be big. But where I think Microsoft could do more is some of the upcoming games. I mean, I think some of this is like easy pickings, but games like Fortnite and games that have come out and absolutely exploded out of nowhere, I think there's opportunities for those. So have you guys been following The Hunt Showdown?
I've been watching a little bit of that.
That looks like it's going to be the next big game. That looks fucking amazing. Everyone that's playing it, everyone that's seen it broadcast it said it's huge and it's going to be huge. I think if Microsoft lean more into their PC foundation they've got and start bringing, like PUBG, bringing them onto Xbox, these PC phenomenons, bringing them onto Xbox, I think that's a place that PlayStation can't play. You know, they can't compete in that space. I think that's maybe a smarter thing than hitting up a huge publisher.
Than buying EA.
That's a good point.
It's interesting, but
that's an interesting point.
I think it's a compelling thing to do. You know, the fact that you lean more into that PC infrastructure, you bring out Halo 6, PC and Xbox, Master Chief Collection, remaster it, because they haven't done the Xbox One X remaster yet. That's coming out later this year, and there's suspicion that is because there's a PC play anywhere situation going on. So I don't know. I think for Microsoft, it's more about aligning their two businesses, like the console and the PC, rather than trying to hit Sony head on.
Does Xbox have native mouse and keyboard support?
Yeah.
It does, in the same way that PlayStation does. So PlayStation has it for games like Final Fantasy 14. You can play that with a mouse and keyboard just plugged in. There was talk about bringing it to all games on Xbox, but I think that was just talk. I don't think it ever happened.
I think that would be huge to go along with what you were saying, Gary, if you want to get more PC players over or whatever, you know, if you can get them using the peripheral of their choice, mouse and keyboard, I think that'd be huge.
I don't know. I always feel like you have to protect the console experience from the mouse and keyboard, right? Because as soon as you put mouse and keyboard players into a pool that is mostly console or mostly controller players, I feel like you put the controller players at a serious disadvantage. And one of the nice things about being on a console is that you know that everybody is on a level playing field. Everybody's using the same controllers, more or less. Everybody's got the same hardware. Everybody's playing at the same frame rates. You know, on PC, it's the Wild West. But
in reality, nobody is on the same playing field. There's always going to be people that are always better than you, no matter what they're using. You know what I mean? So,
but
you
it's
could do
skill
things,
as opposed to hardware.
No, I hear you. I totally agree. That's like using a corked bat versus a regular bat in baseball. Maybe a bad example, but an example nonetheless.
I'll cork
you could do things.
Also, not a sport.
You could do things like remove aim assist when you have a mouse and keyboard. You could do things like limit the amount of options they have for their controls, like sensitivity. Meaning that in Destiny 1, even though you hooked up a Zim and you still had aim assist, you were only allowed a certain amount of sensitivity that somebody could achieve with a controller as well. You could only crank it up to 10 sensitivity, and somebody could do that with a controller. I've known people that did it, especially during the shotgun meta, because you want to be able to blink past people and turn around in an instant, you know what I mean? Or whatever form of evasive maneuver that you're using. But, I mean, for a game like Sea of Thieves, do you really think it's going to be that big of a deal? Do you think, I mean, when there's already options for people to do that, there's plenty of people out there that are plugging in a Zim 4 and getting an advantage and things like that. Like, you're not going to know. You're not going to play against a guy and lose and just automatically assume that they're all on mouse and keyboard. You're just automatically going to assume that you got matched.
I'm totally. There's always a very good reason for me being beat in the Crucible, and it's usually them cheating. Sometimes, on occasion, it's an external factor. Sun was in my eyes. Moon was in a weird lunar cycle. Something like that.
Itchy.
It was a funny
Balls
angle.
itchy.
Just you got a scratch.
Yeah.
But I can assure you, at least 90% of the time as I'm killed, it's cheating.
And I guess after the scratch as well, you've got to allow half a second to sniff your fingers before you place them back onto the controller.
It's human
Just
nature to
scratch.
Yeah, me?
Yeah, not even concerned. You just want to know what it is. Eyes don't leave the TV, but you've got to make that.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying, Briar, and I'm just kind of doing the devil's advocate thing from the.
I think it depends on the game.
side.
Shooters, it's difficult, but something like Diablo 3, I think it would be fantastic if you could have crossplay on that, where I could be on a mouse and keyboard, you could be on a controller. That would work. Sea of Thieves, it works for. Halo Wars
Witcher.
2. Witcher. Well, that's not multiplayer, but
Yeah,
I mean,
should be.
anything that's.
But I'd like to. I prefer playing that game with a mouse and keyboard than to a controller.
Do you know what? I love Witcher 3 so much. I went and bought the Game of the Year edition on Xbox again.
Just to see it. 60 at 4K, right?
No, 4K. It does HDR at 30, and it does 1080p at 60.
Oh, I was mistaken.
But the HDR is console exclusive because you don't have that on PC. They don't have the option.
That sucks.
Second-class citizens, man.
But I've got like 80 frames per second, 90 frames per second on a display that can actually display it. Which
can't stop
console
praising
gamers
that
have to.
game.
Oh God, I love it.
I can't. Like it's such an old game and completely irrelevant as far as
it's never irrelevant.
Time correct. I mean time like it's not current, you know what I mean? But it's just it's so good, man. And I really wish that there was more games that refine your game as perfect.
The most realistic world. Fuck every other game. Other games have come through. It's still the most realistic world I've ever seen in a video game. Like when you go and stand in the woods, it looks to me what woods look like. And I don't think I've ever played another game like that.
I can't wait till VR catches up to speed with that kind of stuff. With those kind of graphics and controls and things like that. Like,
for me, it's about like the depth or the expanse of story, the breadth of the story. Is like everywhere I go, I'm getting more story, and it's not necessarily main storyline, but it's interesting and it's well written and it's fun or it's heartbreaking. It's like it seems like every fucking side quest in that game is well worth your time, whether you're hunting for the dick of a statue or you're finding like out what happened to this werewolf or you're hunting a vampire. It's like every fucking story in that game, even the side quests, are just fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, it's a good game. It is a good game, but it's not online. I tell you what is online: Nintendo in September. What do we think about that?
I mean, I'm going to give them $20 just to see.
Yeah,
so
100%. I'm all
Nintendo
in.
this week, as part of an investors call. So there were a couple of big announcements that came out of that investors call, and both of them seemed like they were fucking rushed out the door, because I think they needed to tick them off the list of this is coming this year. So they said, I don't know if you followed the announcements, but Mario Kart is coming to mobile phones sometime this fiscal year, which again is like just a great headline. They've got no details on it. Just before fiscal year 2019, Mario Kart will be on phones. And the second one was Nintendo Online coming September. Like you say, I think it's like $4 a month, $20 for the year if you want to do it that way. And you get access to classic games and some online services. Now, the service itself is not that interesting, but the reason I've thrown it up here is, do we think that's because something is coming in September that could sell online? Do we think Smash is coming in September to the Switch?
I mean,
I think so. I think there is something coming along with the announcement.
Yeah, you think September?
Yeah.
Smash September?
Dude,
I mean, it's a port. It's gonna be a port from the Wii U version, right?
Yeah, maybe it is Smash. Maybe it's something, but they've got to drop a heavy bomb with that, and that's what they're known for doing. Like, oh, here's X, Y, and Z, and we're dropping A, B, and C with it, or whatever. Like,
I'm not concerned about that at all. The only thing I'm concerned about with this online service are what games are going to be the classic games that I can play for free. That's the only thing I'm paying for $20. It's the only thing I care about. I don't do any online gaming on my Switch. I don't give a shit. It's so weird. It's so archaic. Their whole system is bizarre. When I want to play with my friends, I'm gonna play on a PlayStation or on a PC or on an Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a kind of out there theory. Could you imagine if the only two media apps were Hulu and Pornhub, and that was it in September? They're launching Pornhub on the Switch with an online service.
I'd have to leave my Switch plugged in 24/7. Wouldn't have the battery life.
You just strap the Joy-Cons to the side of your dick, and it's like, that's kind of the way it goes. Just jerking it with a Joy-Con. If it can tell me how many ice cubes I'm holding, imagine the kind of shit that could do.
Give me that HD rumble.
HD rumble.
That would open up a whole new realm of Joy-Con customization, Gary.
The Joy-Con fits perfectly into your palm as well. It's not fake. It's designed.
Yeah.
Engineered for that.
You get a Joy-Con custom made that curves ever so slightly to the left. However, it opens up a whole new realm of Joy-Con customization. That's all I'm saying.
And for once, I'm actually thankful that the Joy-Cons are very small controllers, because it works.
So sorry, Beastly.
Remember those Wii nunchuck or Wii controller covers they used to sell? Those silicone covers? The weird condoms they had, yeah. Yeah, there you go. We'll throw a couple of Joy-Cons into one of those, slide it on, you're good to go. Did the joysticks face in or out?
I don't know. It could be kind of a bit of a tickling sensation there, actually. I mean, you might accidentally exit the video if the buttons are on the inside. I don't know. I'll have to get. I'll approach Nintendo for comment, and I'll come back to you guys next week with their response. So we'll see.
Get on that. Hit them up on Twitter. They're very responsive.
I mean, if you heard the news here on Revolver, guys, everyone in chat, you've been warned. That's what's coming. So I think that's the launch of that. That's Nintendo dealt with. This is quick fire. I like it. We're getting through these topics. Uber surrogates, Briar. Tell me about how someone else is going to live my life for me powered by Uber.
Yes. Okay. So this is a company that this week or last week, I can't remember, announced a new service which they would send people to be your surrogate at events that you couldn't or didn't want to go to. So the way this would work is basically you have like an iPad or an iPhone or an Android device that has like a two-way communication like Skype or some other app that you could do kind of video calling with. And then somebody would go to that event, say it's a funeral or a business meeting, wearing a helmet with an iPad on the front of it, showing your face. So you'd essentially be walking around, right? You'd be looking at an iPhone, but everybody else would be looking at a person with an iPad and your face on that iPad.
Right.
And then you could interact with people.
Do you remember those, before we get into the topic itself, do you remember those games where you could scan a picture in and it was on the face of the character? There was like loads of them, the old wrestling games, other things like that.
Oh, yeah.
What's the first thing you took a picture of and put it onto the face of your character? Because it certainly wasn't my face.
It was my face.
I tried taking a picture out of some magazine. I think it was like one of my mom's like Star magazines with like George Clooney on the front. See if the magazine would do it.
Am I the only person that strapped a dick across my character's face in wrestling?
Did it actually work? Did it work?
Yeah, did it work?
Yeah, it does. It's any flat picture. They just wrapped it around.
Okay. So wraps around. It doesn't have any like dimension to it or anything. That would be amazing.
Did it have like the little pee hole like on his forehead? Maybe
it was just
maybe you can see the bottom of the foreskin kind of like around the chin.
If I remember rightly, it just looked like the Elephant Man. It wasn't that impressive. It was kind of like John Merritt going on pushed to the side. But the reason I ask is that if that's the first thing I did, right? Yeah. And someone has to wear this on their face. How many people are just wandering around town with a dick on their face?
Depends if the person's willing to endure it, and like depends on how many people can recognize the dick.
Chatterbait, your fucking funeral.
That's what I'm saying. Are you gonna be walking around and people are gonna recognize that dick, so they're gonna know it's you? Like that's the thing, or is it just?
I don't know how well known is your penis.
That varies from person to person, Briar.
I guess it does.
Some people like to keep that to themselves.
I know that penis anywhere.
Gary.
No, I think that's really cool. Like, does it have to be your face? What's the rules of this? If we need to know more about the details, Brian, you seem to be the source of information for this. What can I do? How much is it? When's it starting?
I don't know any of the answers to that question.
You've researched this thoroughly, I can tell.
What I was going to ask you guys is like, what would you use this for? But I think we know what Gary's going to use this for. He's going to use it to troll everybody with pictures of his dick.
The first thing I turn up to... But the thing is, it's not me doing it, so I'd send someone to walk around a primary school with it on, just really inappropriate things, just really fucked up things.
What's awesome, too, is you start the call off, right, Gary? And, like, I assume you got to, like, talk to the person, say, here's where we're going and what we're doing, and then they strap the iPad to their face. They never see you again.
You go to church and there's just a big cock.
Just sitting in the pew.
Everyone's praying for you and shit. They're like, oh, this guy. Hey, I kind of want to use it to troll people too. So like, I would see how far the person's willing to go. Like, obviously Gary's willing to troll him with dicks. I want to see if like you could have someone like show up to your funeral. Will you show up to my funeral for me? You know what I mean? So they show up with the iPad on, and they're expected to, like, it's you at your funeral, but, you know, will you
you know, like a pre-recorded message for your own funeral?
Oh, that would be cool. A pre-recorded message. Never liked you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. And fuck you. I'm out.
Does he have to? Does the guy that's doing it have to like act along with the actions, or does he just stand there like a rock?
I mean, if you get a good, I suppose it's the quality of the guy you get. You know, like some guys are going to be good, some guys are going to be, wet noodles. But I want somebody pretty good. You know, I want somebody who's going to ham it up a little bit, play to the crowd. You know, when there's a picture of a dick on their face, I want to be acting like.
See, I've always wanted to learn an instrument, so maybe one of them I could put my face on and play a guitar.
Perfect.
Someone else do it. I just look down and it's.
Wait a minute. Is that Nickelback? Fucking, I got you again.
I'd make them go to court for me if I ever had to go to court.
Ooh,
jury duty.
I'm going to be serving. I'm going to be serving a 15-year sentence. So would you mind sticking that iPad on and just
I'm not in the jail for me.
Send them to purchase drugs or alcohol from the store. Just see what I can get away with. You know what I mean? See what the person's willing to do.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah. Down with that. That's fucked up if that's a real thing though. So like,
that's a real thing. They're doing it.
What event would people take you seriously with some other random stranger with a fucking iPad strapped on their head? They need to take it a step further. We need like holograms, like the Tupac concert or like the Jerry Garcia holograms for the concerts where you're physically there. You know, because if you had to do something legit and you couldn't be there, like no one's gonna take that seriously. They're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, "Are you for fucking real?" Like if my trade show that I do every year, if I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to have this random guy go up there and sell glass for me. There's some things you couldn't get away with it. Like people stop at my booth because it's me. You know what I mean? Like not.
I venture to say more people would stop at your booth if it was if you were on somebody's iPad glued to their face.
And even
people
more
would be like,
would stop.
What the fuck is Wilson doing? This is fucked up. Let's go find out.
Would stop if your stand had a guy with an iPad strapped to his face with a dick on the iPad. I'd stop. What the fuck is this?
Gary's like, I don't know what you're selling, but I'll take 10.
Like, there's a guy with a dick on his face and there's a load of bongs. Like,
I don't know what it is exactly, but it's speaking to me.
It's like art, you know, when you get those galleries
as you're
and
yelling
there's a guy in spandex in the corner jerking off, and it's like, this is modern art. It's like that kind of thing. Like
no, that's Bob. We kicked him out again, but he just keeps coming back.
It's just Gary. We don't know how he gets in every time. You just let him do his thing and don't make eye contact.
Definitely don't make eye contact.
Don't feed him. Don't feed him after midnight or get him wet.
Don't eat anything he gives you either.
Yeah.
Don't wear anything you can't easily wipe down. I think we've sufficiently covered Uber surrogates. Should we move on to Tesla and Elon Musk?
Oh, so Elon Musk was sitting in traffic one day, and he came up with an idea for the boring company to bore holes underground to, basically have some kind of like fast moving tunnel system or whatever. You know, like this is. But he named the company the Boring Company, and then over the last couple of weeks, he's also been selling flamethrowers under the Boring Company branding. And if you don't follow Elon Musk on Twitter, you should be, because the guy is fucking hilarious. He's been just going off about these flamethrowers for the last 2 weeks. He sold 20,000 of the things. Some of the things he said about these flamethrowers is, yes, these flamethrowers are definitely irresponsible, and no, you shouldn't buy one. And then in the following text, he said, unless you like fun.
I hear that they're being put into Borderlands 3. Didn't Randy Pitchford tweet him back and say,
really?
Yeah.
The Boring Company would be a new vendor?
Well, Randy Pitchford tweeted him back and was like, can we use this as flavor text in Borderlands 3? And Elon Musk came back and was like, sure. And Randy was like, consider it done. So there's going to be
awesome.
Elon Musk flamethrower in Borderlands 3. That's the official thing.
Has there been anybody as rich, famous, and as smart as Elon Musk?
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
There it is. The real life Tony Stark. Not only is the dude rich, but he has a fucking sense of humor. You know what I mean? He's not all business all the time. Like, for instance, another tweet that he put out about the flamethrower was all people with the conspiracy that I'm going to create a zombie apocalypse to sell my flamethrower. Well, these accusations are simply false. You know, the guy's got a sense of humor, and he's on some next level shit. Like, the only other real life person that I think I can compare this guy to is maybe Tesla. Like, he's ahead of his time. This guy's sending rockets into orbit and landing them on a fucking X, on a square concrete platform in the middle of the fucking ocean with not much room for error. You know, like, this guy is on some next level shit, man. And I just wish that, I guess, he was a little younger and so was I, so I could stick around. We could stick around a little longer and see what this guy accomplishes, because, man, there's some amazing stuff that he's up to. I'm a big fan. I'm a fanboy of Elon Musk, all right?
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch what he does, because he's on some next level shit. He's creative, and he's got the money to fund his projects. Like, when he has an idea, like, should sell a flamethrower, he can just make that shit happen.
He could sell his own cologne, you know, Elon Musk.
Elon.
It's a Musk, you know, like he could, Elon.
Elon,
you know, and people buy it
the
up.
Revolver Live podcast volunteers to make the commercial for Elon.
Got you. Mr.
We
Musk.
volunteer. We'll do that shit for free, man.
We got you covered, Mr. Musk. Can we call you Elon?
I mean, like,
no, I think that's interesting.
I just don't understand. I mean, he made all his money on PayPal, didn't he? I think he bought PayPal, and sold PayPal.
There's a lot of conspiracy talk that he invented Bitcoin.
Really?
I hear he invented money.
I hear he invented inventions. That's how ahead of the time this guy is.
I mean, I heard him talking on, I don't know, some sort of show anyway. He was talking about, like, terraforming the moon and shit. Like, the guy is, like, high as a fucking kite half the time. But then, like you say, he's got the money to just... And, I mean, I reckon every time he's not on camera, he's just on the dankest of all weed.
But his shit works, though. That's the thing, right?
It does.
Like, he can come up with this, like, thread of an idea, and then he's got the money and the people around him to, like, develop that idea and to flesh it out and to make it a real thing. It's insane. It's cool.
Talking about the terraforming the moon business was... I think he said that you need to heat it up, but you can do that with thermonuclear warheads. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, he wanted to nuke the moon. Basically, I remember that. And
I'm not going to lie. I'll be outside watching when he's doing that.
Nuke the
Tonight's
moon.
the night that Elon nukes the moon, man. I got snacks. I got drinks. We got the lawn chairs all set up. No, you can't look through a telescope. That shit'll burn your retina out. Stop it with the telescope shit. Give it to Trump. He'll watch it.
They actually did that recently.
What?
Nuke the moon.
Put a small nuclear explosion on the moon, supposedly.
What happened?
Nothing. That's the fucked up thing. They said that there was it was back when they did it back when Obama was still in office, because they have pictures of him and his family, like, sitting out all looking up at the sky and stuff, and people didn't see a single thing. And
Deck
then
chairs and shit.
Yeah. Deck chairs, like, it's the fucking 4th of July. He's got a fucking beer cooler and shit. No, but literally, like, everyone was looking up at the sky, and then NASA gives us this really shitty, blurry like it was made from a Nokia first camera phone, cell phone on there, and it's just this little tiny white dot, and that was supposed to be the explosion. So
It was a North Korean made nuke. It was fine. They
Did
just saved money.
did NASA like publicly talk about nuking the moon, or is this like people are saying?
No, like there's actual like news articles and stuff on it where like they were like, because they told people to watch.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's the thing. Like it was supposed to be
it
was supposed to be a viewing spectacle. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. So
well, they gotta send up a bigger bomb, man.
And then of course the conspiracy theorists got to typing away on their computers. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they did something else up there, and it's fun to wonder about those things. But I mean, how much of it's really true? You know. Nuke the moon. It sounds like a what was that on Cheech and Chong where they say shoot the moon is like the code for them to go raid the house or whatever. Nuke the moon sounds like a sounds like a code word for something. But
I think it's the name of our first album for sure.
The Nuke the Moon tour coming to a dive bar near you soon.
I'll tweet Mr. Musk and see if we can do that cologne commercial for him.
All right.
Sniff the musk. So we got 7 minutes. We got one topic.
7 minutes, one topic.
Can it be done?
It can be done. So
just not by us. Better men could definitely do it. The A-Team, for instance, they could do it. Us,
if you could afford them.
If you could find them.
If you could afford them too. So this is a really simple question here. Has a movie, game, or any other form of media changed your view on life? So for me, it's obvious. Okay, first time I saw movies like 2001 Space Odyssey or Fire in the Sky, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Contact, you know, any of these movies that I saw growing up have just made my mind just race about the possibilities of life beyond Earth and changed my life. I mean, it's changed my outlook. Like, I mean, it's no secret. I definitely believe in some wild shit, and one of them is definitely life beyond Earth. So anything with space travel, like when they work like theoretical physics into it, like kind of like how they did in Interstellar. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. That movie is a mind fuck, man. That's a movie that you can watch 4 more times and get something new out of it every single time, because you make a realization of, you know, just how deep and unknown space is. I mean, think about it, man. Space is so infinite and vast that it would almost be impossible for there to not be an infinite amount of you, me, and Gary having this exact conversation right down to that pause an infinite amount of times. You know, I mean, that's the theory right now with if the universe is truly infinite and ever expanding, you know, and it's fun when movies and stuff like that kind of play on that sort of thing. So for me, any form of media that has changed my life, it's definitely been movies like 2001 Space Odyssey. So
for me,
you said you had one for this.
Yeah, it's always like inspiration stuff. So I watch a movie where people are doing amazing shit, and like they're building amazing shit, or they're inspiring, and you know, like, and it doesn't even have to be that good a movie. It's just got to be inspiring enough to get me off of my ass and say, I need to be doing better. Like, I need to be doing better with my life. I need to be doing like something to help people or to leave this place a better place than when I found it. And the most embarrassing one of those movies is The Postman, starring Kevin Costner. I left that movie theater. I went to see that at the movies. I left that movie theater and I called the soup kitchen to volunteer for work for the following Thanksgiving and Christmas season. That's how inspired I was by that bad movie.
That's huge. At least like something extremely positive came of that.
Right.
I mean, because like I've talked about donating my time to similar soup kitchens and stuff for the holidays, and you always talk about doing it, right? And then the time comes and you're too busy, or I always find some excuse not to. So that's really cool that like you went into a movie theater and it was powerful enough to change you to where when you came out, you did
That's
it.
why like my favorite types of movies are always about people being creative. Like Wilson, you told me about that awesome movie about the people making pipes. I can't remember the name of it. I always forget the name of it.
Degenerate Art.
Degenerate Art. It's an amazing movie because it shows people being just unbelievably creative and doing like this amazing shit with glass. I love watching documentaries about bands, especially when they're early in their development and they're creating like really cool stuff. But even when they're like late in development, and actually the creative process can be more of a struggle because they don't have they don't necessarily have like 10 years of material, like from the time that they, turned 13 and decided they wanted to start writing material to the time they were 23 and got discovered. Instead, all of a sudden, the creative process becomes, well, our last album came out last year, and we got to have one by next year, so we have to write an album as good as our last album, in a much shorter span of time. Like, that kind of shit is very, very interesting to me, and, like, people being creative, people helping other people, like, that's the kind of shit it's my favorite kind of stuff to watch on TV or in movies.
Yeah, like I can kind of relate. I guess one show or something that kind of impacts my personal life is if I ever watch an episode of Hoarders, I fucking clean my house. I clean my house. As you can see in the background, this pile of stuff on this old coffee table keeps getting bigger and bigger. So at some point in time, I'm gonna have to watch an episode of Hoarders and just be like, I gotta clean my fucking room, dude.
I'm prone to it, Wilson. I feel like if I didn't think about it and I didn't like adjust my thinking at all, I feel like absolutely I just have stacks of magazines, stacks of newspapers all over my house, stacks of video games because I never like get rid of anything. Cardboard boxes, like stuff comes in from Amazon. I'm almost like, man, this box is actually going to be perfect for something someday. So I don't want to throw this box out. I was actually, when I was cleaning out the room for my boys this afternoon, I found the box for my mixer, which I bought like 4 years ago. I don't need that box anymore, but I still had it because what if I need to ship it back to Yamaha because it needs repair or something? I don't want to get rid of this.
I'm a box guy too. So like any of my old, consoles, Funko Pop dolls, anything, keep the box for. But even shitty cardboard boxes, because I'll use them to reship like my glass out and stuff. So I have just like a mountain of boxes in my garage. It's getting kind of bad. I
live a clean existence. I don't share your order life.
The Babe Blair does not have clutter.
I just open the door and cast it out into the street. That's it. Just take this discarded stuff, enjoy it. Now, I don't know, for movies, I like movies that make me sad. I like to be sad.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like uplifting stuff. I like to feel melancholic. So I tend to watch stuff that's like, but I don't know, two sides of things. I watch fun stuff or I watch really sad stuff. So like, what did I like? Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. Really like that movie, where he's like the dude that kind of gets old and, robot gets old and whatever. Brokeback Mountain. I like that. That's sad.
Very sad,
that was a sad movie.
Also, scintillating.
Kind of the same reason that I like Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
That's
not
fun.
sad at all, actually. Magic Mike 2, a little bit sad.
That's all fun. It's all fun. But like, I like movies that make me think, like Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Great movie. That's another one that I really, really like. Thinking about if you could forget someone, would you? And it's just nice thinky pieces. I like to leave a film and just I just like to leave a film and feel bad about myself. That's kind of how I like to.
You really Wes Anderson movies?
Wes Anderson? I don't know who that is. I might have seen
Anderson. He did Royal Tenenbaums. He did The Fantastic Mr. Fox. He did Bottle Rocket.
I saw the Fox one.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Was that the one with what's his name? The
Bill
Ghostbusters. Murray? Yeah, Bill Murray. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, no, I watch a lot of things that come on. I'm not a filmy kind of guy, and sometimes I like just dumb entertainment, like
Super Troopers.
No, like Tarantino movies. I class them as dumb entertainment. Just where it's like, I'm not trying to teach you something. I'm just going to watch some bad motherfuckers. So I don't really change my outlook on life. I'm not really influenced by media in that way. Like I watch it and go, that was sad, or that was happy. But it kind of changes my outlook on the day, I guess. I leave, and for the rest of the day, I'm like, I just want to be alone and cry.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy a good cry from a movie, especially when I'm home alone or something like that.
I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the last 5 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I cried like a little bitch. Like a bitch.
It's okay, I cried at the end of Terminator 2. It's all good.
Literally,
Spoilers,
I mean,
that part where he's doing the thumbs up going down. I bawled, dude. Oh my god, I cried so hard.
Yeah.
My dad was like, "What the fuck? I can't take you anywhere without you crying. You should have been a girl."
And I don't know if it's a becoming a parent thing, but if there's anything that's like parent-child related,
Oh god.
man,
Oh yeah.
Well, that hits home for a parent, man. I mean,
straight
you
away,
could just
and it's
relate.
like he never knew his dad. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like you get that, and it's just like hits you. Yeah, that.
When I'm
just,
watching a movie and they put a child in danger, like it kicks in like a fight response for me. Like I get like antsy and like I can't sit there. I can't sit still and watch it.
It's parental
So
instinct.
for me,
man.
it's the cerebral stuff. It's more like the threat of violence towards a character is not as bad as much as this person's sad now. So like it's a recent movie, so I'm not going into spoilers, but in Logan, there's like some scenes in Logan that again with the whole parental bond and stuff like that, you think, oh, like I hope he like knows that everything will be all right, kind of thing. You know what I mean? That you get then kind of like feelings where it's just like, I don't know, that to me is movies that change my outlook on life. They make me want to be a better parent so that your child doesn't feel that way about you, or like, you know, that you kind of like try to resolve those issues. So I guess that's probably one of them. Sad movies. And we are over by 3 minutes, so we have fucked ourselves. We have not delivered on the promise of Revolver half-cocked.
I don't know. I feel like if anything, Revolver is always half cocked.
Half mass and half
Half
cocked.
masked and half cocked.
So what the fuck are we going to be doing next week? We're going to be playing video games.
This
We're
week?
going to be...
Yeah,
what we
okay.
doing?
So I guess I've been streaming lately. So like I said, I'm tiptoeing back into it. I don't have any kind of a schedule going on, but I'm definitely planning on streaming tomorrow and Tuesday.
Cool.
Probably going to be doing more Destiny stuff. So if you guys want to stop by and check me out, it's twitch.tv/Wilson309. So we'd love to
Nice.
have you there. It's pretty chill, especially when Briar comes into chat and
Yeah, it's super
stirs
fun
shit
to
up.
be in your chat. You know, it's
Yeah, I
very
know,
fun.
because I've been talking shit to you in your chat for years, and finally you get to sit
Finally
back and
get my
talk shit to me.
opportunity.
Like, finally, this fucking backseat streamer.
I am going to shit talk all stream.
Yeah. What did you say? Okay, so for instance, we've all seen Briar when he streams. He runs into another rabbit or whatever. He gets a little alpha rabbit, so to speak. We ran into another Wilson. So Briar knew that I didn't like the guy. All right, if you're out there, I don't like you. I don't know you, but there's only room for one Wilson in that lobby, and I was going to let you know about it. So we were playing, and Briar goes, I bet other Wilson has a 5.0 KD, closed glass, and rock hard abs, rock solid abs. And I got super jealous. I was like, don't go there.
I wonder if
all
other
right?
Wilson
And,
streams.
yeah. And then he kept putting in chat the rest of the stream. I wonder what other Wilson is doing right now.
I bet
When other
he's
Wilson looks up, is he looking at the same sky I'm looking at?
I bet he's got a massive dick.
Oh yeah, and if you want to tweet me out, at Ryu Wilson, RYU Wilson on Twitter. Draw me a
Sounds like
follow.
plan.
What are you up
Sounds
to
like
this
a
week,
plan.
Gary? Besides making
Me?
videos.
It's editing
Oh,
the same
man.
video.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be making a video, that's what I'll be up to all week.
Yeah.
So
Are you
Yeah,
gonna send that? So that's for work. So are you gonna send it to work, or are you gonna buy like a 1 terabyte hard drive and like carry it to work?
I've actually got a 500 gig external that I used to use a long time ago. So I'm carrying it like a newborn child with me, just cradling my piece of
Swaddled.
creativity.
He's trying to burp it.
That's pretty much that. This week, probably going to be doing a bit more Xbox One X. Loving that. Just enjoying the laziness. I mean, I kind of see why people play consoles now, because you're pretty much just like Neanderthalic in your posture. You just lay with like your hands clasped around the controller.
You don't have one of those beds that like props you up, do you?
No, I want them though. They're like the disabled people's bed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can be sleeping and then okay, now I'm playing video games. All right, I'm a little tired.
Yeah. Right back.
That's the next thing. But yeah, I want to do that, and I want to get there's a few bits and pieces. Shadow of the Colossus drops this week, so
Yep.
want to get on that so we can talk about it. And I really want to get on some of those new PC alphas. If I can get on the hunt, I've applied, but we'll see what happens there. Briar, what are you doing? Because Destiny's playable now, so you on that?
Yeah, Destiny. I'm all over Destiny. I took like a week off of Destiny. I came back for Iron Banner, and I was having a blast with it. So tomorrow I'll be streaming some more Iron Banner. If you want to play Iron Banner with me on PC, jump into the stream, and we'll be playing live. After I go offline, I'll be in Wilson's stream, trolling the shit out of him as much as possible. Talking about the worms in his mac and cheese and Lunchables and,
That's what it was.
and other Wilson.
That's what I said. I said, you want to pound the rock? I was like, I got rock hard abs too. And you said, just because you have worms in your Lunchable meat does not mean it gives you a 6-pack or something along those lines.
Heartwarming story to send the show out on.
All right, guys.
Driving. My heartwarming story? Never mind. I was driving home today and I saw a road and the sign was just up there and it said Wilson Close. And I thought, I hope he is. I wish.
I wish he was.
I felt, your arms around me.
I got to have dinner on Friday night with Ryan from On Air PC too. That was really fun.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Hi, Ryan.
He drove home after dinner too. He drives I'm not going to reveal locations, but 8 hours away. He drove 8 hours after dinner. I was like, when I woke up in the morning, I'm like, hi, you make it home okay? You doing okay? He's like, I'm still driving. I'm like,
I'd have been ready for a fucking nap after dinner. I'd have been like,
man.
I'd have been like, this has been really fun, but
from what I understand, Ryan didn't want to drive home, but Briar's a terrible host, didn't offer him a room. Just like, well, I hope you enjoyed dinner.
I had a spare bedroom, but it's now my kid's game room, so fuck you.
It's now like a jerk-off futon in the other room, so sorry.
Oh my God, Gary. What the fuck?
Unless you're into jerking off on a futon, I can't help you.
I gotta tell you, I'm thinking it's a black futon. I'm thinking that was really a bad choice now.
Man.
Every weekend you're in there with a black light just looking.
No black lights.
I might want to get a cover for that thing. A washable cover.
Oh my goodness, it's fantastic.
That's a show.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Sorry it was a short episode, but Super Bowl stuff. Bye.
We love you.